Worthy played in the game, but never had a target. Noah Gray never had a target. Travis Kelce didn't have a target. Skyy Moore had a target.
He did, yeah.
But, the Skyy Moore Memorial box score. Unbelievable. My favorite play, though, with Skyy Moore, they threw a wide receiver screen. I believe it was to Royals. Skyy Moore has one job on this play. Like, hey, man, block the corner. I won't do that. No, I won't do that. Like, and you're a receiver. Like, no one's expecting you to, like, form block this guy into oblivion. Like, throw yourself in front of him in any way, shape, or doesn't even touch him. Guy gets blown up for lots. Like, you have to be able to do that. Like, if you're Xavier Worthy and you do, like, okay, fine, whatever, right? Like, bro, you're like, it's like if Tyquan Thornton misses the ball, you have to be able to. You have to do that at this point in your career. And it was just the one negative takeaway I'll take from that game. Well, one of a few, but like Skyy Moore and Najee Johnson, I just don't even know at this point. Like, I really don't. I just don't understand how you walk out of St. Joe's and out of the training camp and these two guys are going to make the team. And like one of them's going to play real snaps. Like, really? Can anyone explain why? Other than just like they've been around and stuff, because like I think that's the entire argument.
Here's the thing too about the Skyy Moore thing. I understand that Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown both were in street clothes. But Tyquan Thornton started the game with the ones, and to be fair, incredible adjustment. Truthfully, Mahomes doesn't throw a lot of those. Mahomes doesn't throw a lot of those balls, so that's why I was like, first off, I was like, oh, Mahomes threw a back shoulder ball. He doesn't really do that a whole lot. And then Brownlee, great catch. But the first, I guess it's not necessarily considered a target of the box score, but he threw the first pass to Thornton. But it was a pass interference, so it's not actually an attempt. But his first instinct was to go to Tyquan Thornton in this red zone. I think it was an RPO is what it was. Also, the draw on the first play of the game that they did, I was like, wow, they don't run a whole lot of these, but I kind of like that with Pacheco, the draw action there.
And then as the game went on, Thornton torched everybody in the Cardinal secondary. And I mean, Bailey Zappi just made a horrific throw. But like, if the throw's even halfway decent, like Thornton's still running.
Yes.
But look, like, to move to the positive side, Tyquan Thornton continues to look like a guy who it's like, okay, like I have come around on it from the standpoint. I still think it's really, really hard to make a case that he's going to be like a real plus player for them this year. Like, they just have some sure.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like, it has gotten kind of to the point of like, okay, if Rice is suspended to start the year and you have Worthy and you have Brown, that third spot is kind of sitting there. Like, it's Juju and it's Royals, but like, they're more inside guys. I mean, Royals can certainly move around. Juju's more of a slot guy at this point in his career. But Thornton's a guy who could like play outside and run, like really run. And that's something that, Royals being a rookie, Juju at this point just at a different juncture of his career. Like, they don't have that, those guys right now. Royals maybe becomes that guy at some point. Fine. He's not that guy right now. I'm actually kind of to the point I'm legitimately wondering, like, does Thornton get real time with them? Like, week one? Like, is he just out there, like, really because you know it as well as I do. One thing that is a very big indicator, Mahomes is throwing to him constantly.
Yeah.
Like, at practice, he throws to him all the time. From every report I've seen, and when I was there, the first two throws in team periods were both to Tyquan Thornton. Like, he just throws him, and Thornton keeps catching the football. And to be fair to Thornton on that DPI, like, if the guy's not draped all over him, it's a touchdown. Like, he beat the guy inside; he's open. And then again, Bailey Zappi threw the ball like he kicked it essentially, but otherwise, like Thornton's wide open for a 70-yard touchdown. But I thought he played really well. We're going to, of course, get into this. Joshua Simmons, listen, I get it. It's like 11 snaps. I don't know what else you could have asked out of Simmons in that game.
Right, yeah.
He looked great. Juwan Taylor only played 2 snaps. He only played the first, like, quote-unquote drive, and then it was, more after that. But, yeah, I walked away from it being like, all right, I mean, I thought Royals played well when he played with Minshew. He had a couple nice catches. Like, I think offensively – they should be pretty happy with how things are, with the caveat of, I mean, you saw Mahomes for like 3 seconds, but that's what preseason's all about.
I think technically his play time was 48 seconds, is how long he was like on the field. of game time. Yeah, 48 game seconds, 1-for-1, 1 touchdown, 1 yard is what
And
his
he was
final
like, "We've
stat
seen
was.
enough." The Chiefs just immediately, like, one passing play in the end zone. Oh, that's it for Mahomes. He's done.
Did
So
you
that
think
was
that he was going to come back out
no.
after when they scored? You're like, okay, yeah, that's. I know that Andy always does says the one quarter and then he actually only does a drive, but I was thinking like, oh, it was only 2 plays, so like maybe he wants to get him like an actual setup drive, right? Not one
Right.
of those like short field things where they can run a script. No, he didn't.
The the only reason I was really confident they wouldn't was that field is such a train wreck every time they play there.
That's a good point.
I was like, "He's not putting him out there." That's a perfect excuse Andy needs to just be like, "All right then, great, touchdown."
That's what his final stat line was. He's like, all right, yeah, I think he's a starter. I think he's got this one locked down. I also I do think Minshew played pretty decent too. Like he played a lot
He did
better
a
than
good
like
job. He was fine.
What Carson Wentz did. So
Yeah. No, he was fine. Minshew was fine. I thought he was fine. I thought Kareem Hunt looked fine. Kareem Hunt
yeah,
looked like Kareem Hunt, nothing crazy, but like just did his
10
job.
yard run. That's big,
Yeah.
that's big run for him.
Turned on the afterburners there. I got outside. No, I mean, listen, I thought Moore for the most part looked pretty good. I was trying to watch
Yeah.
him closely, and he looked there. I mean, look, the big conversation is going to be based off Suamatea
Mhm.
and how he played. And I got to tell you, I went back and I watched his snaps a couple times, 2 or 3 times. And one thing I will say, and I have been somebody who's been critical of him throughout because I just thought last year it was terrible.
Right.
Everybody's going to make a meal out of that one snap where I can't really tell. I don't think he tripped over Creed. Maybe he did, but like I don't. I'm not going to sit there and say that that's what happened. Like it's hard to tell. I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Like he got whatever. He got bull rushed 18 yards into the backfield on that play by a blitzing player. That it just can't happen. That's
Right.
that's like Mahomes is like eating turf on a play like that in a regular season game. Okay. I will say this though. I went back and watched this others. Like I actually thought he played reasonably well outside of that snap. Now the problem is that snap exists, and like if that happens 3 times in a game, you're a disaster at guard. Like
Right.
this is the National Football League. You can't have I had 60 good snaps and 10 horrific ones. No, like that doesn't work like that. You can't. You're gonna have some snaps you get beat. Everybody
Mhm.
knows that. But the snaps you get beat have to be a slow death. They can't just be, hey, I just got destroyed the second the ball got snapped.
Yeah.
Especially inside. Mahomes has no shot. The play's over instantly if something like that happens. So I do wonder, they've made it a point to get more out on the field with the first team, whether it has been a guard, whether it's been mostly a right tackle. I wonder this week going back to training camp at St. Joe's here, which I'm sure the players are just thrilled about.
Thrilled. Yeah.
Just awesome. Back to the dorms, guys. Like, you do wonder, do they give more some run here? Because like I didn't think
No.
Suamataia was bad on most of our snaps, but also like it wasn't dominant either. Like where Simmons, you look at him and there were some snaps like, oh my god, like he just like Barrett Brown just disappeared. Like you don't. Suamataia was just like fine, which is okay, but when fine is mixed in with Chernobyl level disaster snaps, then it's not fine anymore. So I'm very curious to see how they look at it.
I want to see a little bit more of Jalen Moore at the left guard. I know he hasn't played inside a whole lot, and Andy made that clear. Just like, yeah, we're just trying to make sure we work everybody everywhere, and he's always kind of been coy with the offensive line and how they want to do it. But is Kingsley a part of the 5 best offensive linemen that they have? I'm not certainly sold on that. Especially, you're right. I think that one play of where the blitzer came and ate his lunch and took his lunch money is going to stick out to a lot of people. And it did. And I could say from the post game show, like a lot of people wanted to talk about that in the chat after the fact, and they should want to talk about that. I do think that they did it. They came back and did it the next play, and he was able to hold his ground a little bit more on that, which is good. It's always good to see him adjust. But like that happened week 18. Like Zach Allen on the very first play took his lunch money and made him look like a fool, and then he did adjust. But like that can't happen from the inside. You're 100% right.
Here's the problem with all this. Okay, like the Chargers don't have an elite defensive tackle. They do have. I screw this poor guy's name up every single time. but it's like Tuilopu or
Yeah, I think it's close enough.
Fine. He's a good player. Week 2, you have Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Week 3, you have Dexter Lawrence. And week 4,
that defensive line is nasty. The whole line, the whole defensive line.
That might be the best defensive line in football.
Yeah.
And then week 4, you've got Matabike. Okay, like I got new. Like they can't fuck around with this.
Mm-hmm.
This cannot be one of these things where, like, let's look. I get killed all the time on Twitter from like Bills fans. Like, you're just a homer. Like, what do you want me to say? They win the Super Bowl every year. Like, wait, you want to come out and just kill them? Like, oh, I can't believe they lost 2 games this year. Like, right. But the one criticism I do think is valid of them over the years, they as a coaching staff take forever to adjust personnel-wise. They will sit there and they will – I mean, they won the Super Bowl in 2023, so again, like really hard to criticize them overall.
For sure.
It took them 3/4 of the year to stop playing Kadarius Toney. Like, they just wouldn't stop. You're like, guys, are you alive? Do you have the gift of sight? Like, he can't play. He stinks. He can't do it. Yeah. Like, and it took Mahomes screaming about it in New England for them to finally be like, all right, like it's over. And now he's going on IR and that's it. And you just, I mean, we saw that years ago with Sorensen and Neiman, where Sorensen was running like he had a broken ankle and they just kept him in there and they're like, it's cool. He's our guy. Like,
yeah.
My big concern, and I'm not basing it off of one game or a handful of snaps with Silmatia, but like based off of what we've seen to this point at tackle and at guard. When he loses so badly. There's going to come a point, Mahomes is going to get hurt off of it. Like, there's just going to be a snap where Jalen Carter just swim moves him, and Mahomes isn't ready for it, and he gets buried on his shoulder or something. Like, and if you're Andy Reid, obviously, your number one priority is keeping that guy upright. Because if he's upright, they can win the Super Bowl no matter what. Like, they are always in it. And I just wonder if you're the Chiefs, can you really sit there and say that guy is one of the 5 best offensive linemen on this football team? I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I think you have to have a real conversation with yourselves if you're the Chiefs. You cannot go into the season and go, well, we don't think he's that good, but let's give it a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a receiver who, if he sucks, like, you can just go, all right, whatever. Like, Mahomes will just make it work with the other 9 guys plus himself on the field.
Right.
He's in front of Mahomes. Like, you can't sit there and just go, it's okay. Like, it's not. So I'm very curious. Would you start him in the week 2 game, the preseason game?
Kingsley, yeah, probably. But I don't recall seeing Jalen Moore. Did Jalen Moore go to left guard?
Played right tackle.
Right. He played right tackle. So I want to see Jalen Moore get some left guard snaps, if they are even entertaining it, or if this is just something that they're goofing around with in practice, whatever. But like, I would like for there to actually be a competition. Like, we talked about this about him with the left tackle last year. It wasn't actually a competition for him last year at left tackle. He was kind of like the left tackle by default because Wanya Morris was dealing with that knee injury. Yeah. And they were like, all right, well, we got you here. Well, you'll be our left tackle. And it doesn't really feel like it's been a left tackle contest with, or left guard, I should say, contest with Caliendo, like they said it was going to be. And look, Mike Caliendo's probably, yeah. And so that's the thing that I worry about, is they're just going to give Kingsley the job again. And you mentioned, Matt, that this coaching staff is so slow to change all personnel wise. They weren't with left tackle last year. They pulled that trigger quicker than they usually do. Especially on the offensive line. The offensive line, man, is something that they want to set and forget and not mess with the continuity. So that's what makes it so interesting to me, that they're, number one, willing to give this guy another shot at starting on the left side of the offensive line at a position, and that they're willing to, not necessarily have that deep of a competition, I guess, for him, for a guy that they quickly gave the hook in week 3, week 2 of the season, like after week 2.
Trey Hendrickson was just annihilating him. Yeah,
he's bad.
Yeah, look, you make a really good point though. They did yank him quickly, and I just think if you're the Chiefs, that is the one area you cannot screw with it. That cannot be one of these things where you're just like, well, we'll see what happens. It cannot happen.